morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Business Continuity Awareness Week 2025. Here at KIAB, where we don't just prepare for a rainy day, we prepare for storms, floods, power outrages, and zombie apocalypse too. And yes, the ultimate crisis, the coffee machine going out of service. Because, let's be honest, if that coffee machine stops working, we are all going home. Am I right? So this week, it's all about staying ready, staying calm, and staying caffeinated. So first, I welcome, before we begin this event, it's time to leave your mark, but not just anywhere, but on the precious signature wall. I call the dignitaries to sign on the wall, please. I welcome Mr. Dr. Devasya, Ms. Nalini George, Mr. Praveen Khan, and Mr. Rao Mankundla on the stage to sign on the BCM wall, please. I request Mr. Manish and Mr. Firoz also to join us, please. Don't worry, we'll all sign in the end. We'll do that. Let me now talk about the theme first. Thank you. This year's theme is Redefining Resilience, creating a future-proof airport. Sounds intense, right? It does? Yeah. But don't worry, we are not here expecting you to build a time machine, unless you have already started. It's about building smarter, adapting faster, and yes, being prepared even when your GPS reroutes you straight into the unknown. Because resilience today is less about bouncing back and more about bouncing forward, however, without a limb. Now, you might wonder, why do we need a whole week for business continuity, right? Well, think of it like a fire drill for your brain. But instead of running out of the building, screaming, we are staying in. And how are we staying in? We are staying sharp and learning how to keep things running, come rain, shine, or zombies. And trust me, if at all zombies ever invade, AOCC will still send you the real-time data. Throughout the week, we are having engaging activities, lined up awareness sessions, surprise quizzes, and visual campaigns that are more exciting than spotting an empty seat in an airplane. So, bring your ideas, your curiosity, and if you are lucky, some snacks along the way. So, buckle up, folks. It's going to be an insightful ride. Together, let's make resilience more than a buzzword. It's time to live it, lead it, and maybe laugh a little along the way. Because here at KIAB, even our contingency plans have contingency plans. Okay, now without further ado, you know how most of us avoid risk, right? Do we all not avoid risk?
Yes.
We do, right? Well, our next speaker walks right into it with a plan, of course. He is the go-to person when things get tricky, and the calm voice in the room when everyone else is panicking. At KIAB, he has been the brain behind building strong, smart, and future-ready risk strategies. And between us, if enterprise risk were a sport, he would be in the Hall of Fame already. Let's give a big round of applause and welcome Dr. Devasya, AVP ERCR, on the stage.
From here?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ankita. It's brilliant wording narration. The way you are presenting things is really appreciated, actually. First of all, thanks to all of you for coming over this particular program event. The business continuity management system in our Canberra International Airport, we started way back in 2010. Okay, when we started that one in 2010, probably it was a kind of a new word in the industry because it was very rarely heard of or was practiced in a systematic pattern. So, but the strong support and the motivation all the time behind this story was the management of Bangalore International Airport at that point of time. And the same motivation, inspiration, and the same kind of support keeps on, and every day it is there, right? Even today also like that. So we thought how we can make something which is unsystematic, how we can make it systematic, and we can roll it out, and we can practice it. And if any eventuality or a crisis, something is happening, in case something happens like that, then how we will be able to cope up with that. We have enough examples in the last 10 to 12 years of span. Real disasters happen, real contingency happens, and the business continuity management system was actually acting and performing the right way. We could come out of everything in a very, very smooth fashion, right, including the COVID time actually. Okay? So we thought that this message needs to be spread across the company, organization, ecosystem, and in the next phase we took the business continuity into the ecosystem with all the partner stakeholders, and the support we received from the encouragement from all of them was also again overwhelming and amazing. And until last year, when we observed business continuity management system, this was actually focused either a touch-based event, otherwise a Ashwaga-based event or something like that. This year we thought that no, that's not. We have to reach out further to the level of entire ecosystem, and now most of the functions of this 1 week is actually happening in our partners, our stakeholders, or our counterparts and statutory agencies, their premises, their campuses. People are coming and having that experience. It's not only for executives, it is meant for all the 35,000 plus employees of this organization or this system actually. Okay, so this is what business continuity, the story I'm talking about. Way back in 2010, we got certified in BS 25999. That was the first standard, or I can say the standard of all the mother of all the standards, I can say like that. Okay, because British standards are actually getting converted into most of the ISO standards. So BS 25999 was a British standard, and in those days our management took the challenge of getting certified. We got it. Then when it is converted into ISO 22301, 2012, we got it upgraded. That was a Herculean task, but we did it successfully. Then after that, it again got into amended to 2019. ISO 2021. Then again we got into that level. So this is the only 2 airports in the world got certified in this standard. That's very interesting thing actually. Okay, and when I say we're the only 2, one recently got certified. Otherwise, we were the only airport in the world actually. Okay, so that's one. Going forward with the something about the business continuity awareness system. This year we thought that actually, okay, there are certain slogans and captions, everything there, but 3 key words we thought actually like sustainability, innovation, adaptability. Okay, something which is very critical. Okay, this is what we thought this year, how we can integrate that one with actually like that. The team is taking the business continuity management system in our airport ecosystem into the next level. While last year, until last year, it was something I can correct you. Until last year, it was actually orchestrated or conceptualized, executed, led everything by ERCR. This year's story is different. We are only behind. Okay, maybe my team is in the front actually, but there is a task force. They are actually cutting across all the organization. A cross section of the organization is actually considered with a task force, and the task force is there behind our team, and we are only just doing something minimal. Others are doing the work actually. What I mean to say, how people own it. And one of the best examples, Nalini is sitting here. Because when we approached, she got some other program. And she said, I don't know whether I will make it or something like that. This morning, she said that I am coming. I thought, hey, you are busy, no? No, I am coming. This is what the spirit actually, what the management is always doing. Okay? And I know there is senior leadership activity happening outside, but and another half an hour, a couple of us have to push off from here, but still they actually coming and giving the presentation. Okay, and some of the stalwarts in this campus actually. Okay, when we approached, they really I don't know what kind of goosebump kind of an experience actually. Okay, the kind of response they are giving and the real time things, everything. Okay, so my job is not to welcome or not to any. She has already done that. I want a small brief about that. When we are having 1 week activity, in this 1 week activity, what we are doing, reaching out to every single person in this campus to the best possible manner in a multiple ways and modes, and telling the message, at least in knowing. If the last person, if you know the word correctly, that itself is a success actually. Rest we can align. Okay? So that's our target, and there are multiple activity like quiz competitions, online quiz, offline quiz, or sessions like that. Experts coming from different parts of the country. Okay, yesterday we had a VFS Global Senior General Manager. She was actually talking about how globally it's happening. Today we have he's here actually. So what I mean to say, we have good speakers, eminent speakers, and we are also doing a lot of things actually. Let us use this opportunity to learn and we can make it a culture. This actually should be in our DNA, the CDN. Unlike any other ISO standard, I'm not telling other standards what I say. This standard is a living standard because this is life-saving actually. This is actually life-saving. This is actually giving existence to an organization or survival of an organization. Okay, resilience. So with this few words actually, over to you, Ankita. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you for the inspiring words, sir. All right, folks.
Brace yourselves. Coming up is the women who proves that HR doesn't just stand for human resource. It also stands for highly remarkable. She's the silent force behind our culture, the loudest cheerleader of our success, and the only person who can send a calendar invite that instantly gets accepted. No questions asked. She's wise and probably already reading our body language from backstage. So sit up straight and smile as we welcome the unstoppable Miss Nalini George, CHRO.
Dr. D just now said. For me, when you talk about resilience, when you talk about BCT, we're talking about life. That's all it means, right? Life in every form and shape that we do. Whether it's infrastructure or process or people. It doesn't matter what it is. I always believe in plan B. And that's what kind of we talk about it every day. Smallest of things, right? We talk about, I'm going to talk more of people because I know we have experts talking on other things. Exactly, I would say 2 months ago, we got a call at 2 a.m. in the night. And I was woken up, shaken up. My phone is always there. My job is such that while we don't work 24/7, we are awake 24/7 for anything that's required. 2 a.m. literally we got a call. And the call was panic call because we had this 24/7 doctor line. Doc online. And the call was from them, which said that this is a red alert because somebody is suicidal. It's a PCP for us, right? In some form or the other. 2:45, somebody's outside the door of this guy. Pulled him up, got him to the hospital, kept him there, and then he's now in a rehab now for the last 2 months, literally, right? So how do we kind of create rehab for everything? Something could have happened if I didn't pick up the phone or if my team member didn't reach there in 45 minutes, something could have happened, right? It's saving life, and we knew that it was quite dangerous. For me, when you talk about resilience, yesterday, it's so nice what Hari was talking yesterday. We had a strategy meeting. He said, the recent unfortunate thing that happened, how do we as airport, because we are experts in everything, our ARFF team is probably one of the best that we have created, right? How do we make sure we also train our civil firefighters? I mean, what an amazing thing. And he said, I will personally go talk to the chief secretary and take her support to see how we can train our firefighters around the city, right? Those are things that we can do. These are BCPs that we can create with the skill that we have. How do we reuse the skill that we already have, right? And how do I prepare our employees, right? When you talk about, the fire drill, we all think it's a game, right? We all think, okay, it's another fire drill. But you really don't know. We will only use it. Unfortunately, I really hope we'll never use that. But when you have to use, your skills will come out at that time, right? Some of us are trained firefighters in our own way. And many of our employees, we train them. But those kind of things, we take it easy sometime. And how do we kind of drill into our employees to say, how do we create this as a BCAW? The pandemic taught us something. We won't go back there because we've spoken so much about it. But when it comes to coming together as a community, I think none of us shied away. Whether it is within the community, within the airport, or even outside, I think we all were there in some form or the other to be there for each other. This, what you're doing, Dr. D, is not just telling us, talking to us about what business continuity is. You're bringing the community together to say, you know what, when you talk about BIAL, when you talk about airport now, airport city is coming up, we are one in it. We might be doing our businesses separately, but when we need each other, I think we go out of our way to be with each other. That is BCP for me. So thank you so much for being there for us, is all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I now request Mr. Mani, CEO, WFS, to speak a few words.
Thank you. I'll just stand up from here. So, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our WFS campus for those coming here for the first time. So, I think it's a great initiative that BIAL has taken on. Nalini spoke of life-saving steps, and Mr. Khan is here from our telecom industry also. I remember reading a long time ago that perhaps in this world, if worldwide, if electricity goes out, lives may not be lost so quickly, but if the telecom networks all go down in one shot, I was told probably people will start dying sooner rather than later. So, not because of the messaging and all. A lot of critical systems rely on telecom backhaul networks. Perhaps those in love, of course, are not having messaging might right? I was young once, had 3 mobile phones and a girlfriend. So, that's different. So, but on a smaller scale, at a city level, perhaps BIAL is one of those things that could really cost lives rather quickly if we don't function. Right? That doesn't, or rather it should not make us arrogant, but what it should make us is deeply humbled and feel a whole lot of responsibility on our shoulders. Right? We are partners to BIAL, and under Hari's leadership, under Dr. Revasia's leadership, a fantastic business continuity system has been devised and perfected over the years. Right? It's not something overnight. As Dr. D said, 2010 is when BIAL started on this journey. I've been part of the airport ecosystems in this country for about the same time. So I've seen it evolve, and the unfortunate incident of the air crash of the Air India 171, sad as it is, also sometimes exposes where we are not fully equipped. But crash, sometimes, not to belittle the loss of lives, those can never be filled. It's more than just a complete catastrophic end. The building we are in, and it is only apt that we chose this location, is the only gateway for all temperature-controlled cargo moving in and out of Bangalore International. What that means, not just for WFS Bangalore is, of course, is a joint venture, so that way financially also for BIAL, but also at the airport as a whole, if you think about it. Dr. Reddy's, Biocon, all big players in pharma in this region, Medenich. If you go down any damn time, without a pass you can't, I'm just saying figuratively. You go down and see or glance over this window, you can see the import terminals, storage areas from here. You will find lots of pharma boxes. Amongst them, there will be many life-critical injection doses, perhaps. So someone's fighting for life somewhere, right? So in that case, business continuity is not that a plane fell on this building. That would be terrible. But if the chiller plant here stops functioning for, say, 6 hours, and we are not able to bring that up, someone somewhere probably is going to die. You can imagine, perhaps commercially nobody noticed, but that dose of injection which is to be kept between 2 to 8 degrees only, if that went to 12 degrees and stayed there, you can say somebody touched and felt, "Thanda hai boss, chalega." But would you like to be the one, or would you like it to be your loved one lying in an ICU somewhere receiving that dosage, which is going to be ineffective against all your hopes and prayers? So that's the value of business continuity, and that's something that every one of us, from the people at the entrance to the airport campus down to the last person in this building or in BIAL, everybody has a role. There is a business as usual path, and when things go wrong, what you do. So I'm a layperson, if I may could put it in my crude terminology, pardon me, Dr. D, I'm amongst experts here, I know, Mr. Khan, you too, is that it is something that you would have a ready reference to as to know what to do when things aren't going the way they are. Maybe the building's not cooling, maybe the power lines are cut. There was an airport where I worked once, I remember, even power lines. It had triple redundancy, and suddenly the power went out totally, and we found out that triple redundant lines were laid when the airport was built. But some genius somewhere thought, why build one more trench? And there was a 500-meter stretch where all the lines came to the building together. That cargo terminal spent about 18 hours without internet connectivity finally, and people had to put laptops and those days those data cards, dongles you would get. So it could come in many ways, right? A passenger terminal shuts, unimaginable disaster, but slightly more of a PR disaster. A cargo terminal shuts, maybe the iPhones are not being made, maybe Narayana Hrudayalaya is not getting the nuclear medicine required for somebody's cancer treatment, and I don't know, somebody in the Middle East probably is not going to get fruits and vegetables. We are the largest gateway out of South India. So on all our shoulders this responsibility lies, and it's a fabulous initiative that while is doing this whole continuity awareness week that's being held everywhere. So I thank every one of you, and I appreciate all those who have come from the WFS side also, Firoz, Ulrich, Sharmishta, Kiran, and you have got your critical team members here, whom I implore to pay full attention to the proceedings, make the most of it, because by law and by requirement, the airport's emergency readiness plan and the business continuity plan have to be synced with all critical facility operators such as cargo. Ours is too, I reassure all of you, but it is important that we refresh our knowledge and understanding and see how we can do it better. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. All right. Coming up next is someone who is not just a leader, but a force behind BACL's incredible journey. He's sharp, inspiring, and always 10 steps ahead. Okay, maybe 11 too. Whether it's about strategy, innovation, or simply keeping things real. Let's put our hands together and welcome CEO of BACL, Mr. Ram Mukunda, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So when we start any large infrastructure project and real estate projects, we need to profile all the risks involved. Okay, there are a lot of mathematics. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Okay, risk mitigation is very important because the stakes are too big. Okay, we deal with citizens, we deal with big money. So natural calamities, wayland landslides. Everybody is aware of it. What happened in 2024 when we build infrastructure on hills, luxury real estate, okay, on hills and all. I mean, like you can't imagine it. There are engineering solutions, what we call it slope stability analysis and all. But okay, if we don't do it, what happens? Okay, climate change, natural drought, Nagpur drought. Okay, so we are all aware of it. When we go and invest in heavy billions of dollars, okay, in places like Rayalaseema, Andhra, Bihar, somewhere and all, okay, there's no water and all. We need to see what are the sources available and all, okay. That's very important. Engineering failure, what happened in Bihar during construction. External shocks, COVID-19, we all experienced. Entire supply chain was disrupted, okay. We went through a lot of hell actually during that time. Other variables include land titles. Okay, real estate land titles are a very big risk, especially in a country like India. Regulatory uncertainty, inflation, occupational hazard, cost overruns. Each one is a PhD on its own. It takes like hours to talk about it. I dare not put about, okay, HR related, that's a very big issue. Okay, I'm not qualified to talk in front of Nalli, so I avoided HR. Okay, so very interesting. What is all about actually real estate resilience, what it is all about, okay? Systems, policies, and design principles that allow real estate asset to withstand disruptions without failure. Simple thing, okay? Extreme right, I'm showing it. I hope this it works, okay? Simply provide nice slopes. Water goes off. I'm not talking any technology or anything. Simple road construction. Put the water, goes off, okay, and it goes into the drain. Though there is no stagnation of water and all, then there won't be any potholes and all, okay. This is called resilient systems. So I want to talk complex thing, okay. So Wellington Parliament House, okay, as a grad student, okay, when I'm doing internship, I used to stand in front of it. Nice memories, okay. That's why I put Wellington Parliament House, okay. Wellington Parliament House got very interesting. New Zealand, everybody knows, it's in a very high seismic zone, okay. What they have done, they put, okay, base isolators. Base isolators meaning, okay, the building sits on isolators. Okay, earth can move, but hardly any forces transfer to the building. So my guru, Professor Thomas Paulet, told me, he is he was, okay, no more, World Authority on Earthquake Engineering, Order of British Empire, he was. He told me, when you can't solve the problem, Rao, avoid the problem. Okay? So this is what actually avoiding the problem. Okay? Keep away from natural forces. Very interesting thing. Okay, Marina Barrage, okay, that's built in Singapore, flood control and all. Very interesting one. Okay. So now, okay, what it is all about, okay, people talked about, okay, these non-resilient things, okay. Bellendor flooding. Just like a reputation of Bangalore was tarnished, okay. See, look at it, okay. USA experienced $1.7 trillion losses, okay, from 1980 because of, okay, non-resilience. That is 40% of India's GDP. We are not talking small money. India lost, due to natural disasters, $75 billion in just 10 years, okay. World Economic Forum report on India, it says that if we don't do proper measures, okay, GDP will lose a significant amount, 10%, that results in 50 million more people get into poverty. That is equivalent to entire Andhra Pradesh, if you take it. 50 million people will get into poverty. India needs resilient infrastructure to mitigate all these things. So he is my favorite professor, Jeffrey Sachs. He teaches sustainable development economics at Columbia University. He used to teach at Harvard. He left Harvard and joined Columbia. So he talks a lot about, okay, sustainable resilient systems. Investing in sustainable infrastructure could yield a direct economic gain of $26 trillion by 2030. It's worldwide numbers. I'm talking. Climate change could reduce global GDP up to 20% by 21st century. We are not talking small numbers. Entire nations can get into poverty, okay, because of these disasters. Climate change could push an additional 100 million people into poverty by 2030 worldwide. So that's why when we talk about ESG, climate and all, it's not for fun, it is real. So now I keep talking about in airport city, whatever little contribution we can do. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, I showcase some case studies. Okay, so before that, okay, if you take entire life cycle, only some element I put because I don't have that much time here to talk about it. It's a vast subject. So what is the full cycle of infrastructure or real estate development? Land acquisition. Second, planning and design, approvals, procurement, construction, operations. Each stage got its own risk. Before doing any project, first thing, especially in a country like India, land acquisition. We are fortunate in airport city, land is given to us, that too from government of Karnataka. In real estate language, we call it Gangajal. This is one of the things, absolutely Gangajal. Just to try this 4,008 acres, you cross and get out, okay? Your probability of success in land acquisition and right land titles is less than 10%. That is our strength, okay? Then think planning and design. While planning and design, okay, it is not a simple design, life cycle costing, okay? Not many engineers are conversant with that life cycle costing, okay? Takes into account, okay, during operations and maintenance stages and all, life cycle costing, okay, computing it and design, put all the risks into it, okay, risk mitigation techniques. Approvals and financing. This is another big risk in a country like India, and it's pretty common in third world countries, okay. Approvals and financing. Financing, CFO is sitting here, okay. Okay, he used to work very closely with me when we were in Alpha 2, okay, early stages of our BSL development. Okay, approvals and financing. Okay, financing. Okay, don't bet on Plan A. Okay, the bank loan what you got it can be cancelled any time for n number of reasons. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. Within that, okay, right amount of WACC stands for weighted average of cost of capital. Okay, what is the right number? What is the debt equation? Sensitive modeling is very, very important until we get our threshold internal rate of return IRR. Okay, that's very, very important. Okay, real estate financing or infrastructure financing, procurement and supply chain. Okay, it's a big problem in India now. Okay, we don't have adequate number of vendors. Okay, each project while you're doing great job in terms of hosting. Okay, get-togethers with vendors, vendor partnerships and all. But okay, as an industry, okay, this is a big issue actually. Procurement and supply chain. Then construction and execution, numerous amount of risks involved in that during construction and execution. One is, okay, again, nullly subject talent availability. We don't have adequate talent, lack of talent and quality contractors. In India, we don't have many contractors actually. Okay, that's a big risk we have. Operations, okay. How many people are actually familiar with operations of the assets? They only can be trained on ground, okay. Fortunately, in this company, okay, we got a terminal operations team and rock solid we have got it. But as an industry, we don't have many people. When I say industry means real estate and infrastructure, not just airport. It belongs to highways, hospitals, all sort of assets. So there is tremendous amount of risks involved, okay. Then land acquisition, just okay, the bullet train project, okay, close to Prime Minister's heart. 5 years delayed simply because of land acquisition, okay. See, it's not a small thing of land acquisition thing, okay. Then, okay, so this is very interesting, okay, planning design stage, okay. You see the numerous risks, okay. We got very good ranking Bangalore, second most congested globally in 2022 ranking, okay. The vehicles don't move at all actually here. Okay, then traffic congestion. You see, it's most traffic congested city in India, Bangalore. Okay, okay. Reduced green cover, 528% increase in built-up area over last 4 decades. Okay, irresponsible development we call it. Okay, irresponsibly the city got developed. Okay, 70+% okay decline in vegetation. We are paying the price for it. Lack of world-class infrastructure. Recently, that artist, okay, cancelled it. I don't want to talk much about it. It's embarrassment for the city, okay. Lakes and water scarcity, urban flooding, Bellandur thing I talked about it. That's where all the top tech companies are there in Goa, okay. Okay. So what do we do, okay? This is something, the practices we are doing in Airport City. So I don't want to boast, okay, it became like a decent benchmark here. Many state authorities actually come and learn from us, okay. Quite often, almost like very frequently, they come from various MDs of the company, government companies, so IAS officers, they come and examine what we are doing it, okay. When we first set up Airport City, the first thing we did is, okay, right policies, okay. Right policies, right planning is the, okay, backbone of any development. United Nations SDGs we took, 17 SDGs, Sustainability Development Goals. From that we developed our own code of practice. It's not like government insisted on that. We developed variant, we proudly call it UDGs, Urban Development Guidelines, UDGs. I always call it, okay, it is Gita, Quran and Bible, non-negotiable. Whether we invest or our partners invest, non-negotiable. This is an attachment to every concession we give it. Everybody got to file, comply with that. Each parcel actually we develop UDGs. Okay, something which we are very proud of in Bangalore Airport City is UDGs. What we developed. Okay, and okay, so various things: universal accessibility, barrier-free design, sustainable urbanism. Various things we develop. For each thing, okay, everybody has to comply with this. Okay, then planning and design of some of the lake development, what we are doing, rainwater harvesting thing. Okay, I demonstrate it here. Okay, what happened in 2012? Okay, it's a Google images how it was dry because of our interventions. This darkness means more water into it. what we are doing, okay, we have got many rainwater harvesting systems, they are interconnected. Finally, if there is any excess, that goes to the neighboring lakes. And hence, okay, you can see how the water is actually going up. Okay, in this campus, through piezometers, when we see the water, this water is actually hardly 100 to 150 feet, as against 1500 feet in Devanhalli, other areas. Okay, so that means good urban planning does help. No two ways about it. Okay, this is planning and design, traffic conditions. Simply look at it. Okay, that airport city avenue. Look at it. When I sent that picture, okay, to my friends and all, people asked, okay, is it in Singapore or is it in US? Okay, actually it is in Namma Bangalore Airport City. Actually, this is called Airport City Avenue. Okay. Then, okay, last mile connectivity. Quite often we talk about it. Last mile connectivity. You look at it. That's all real. What is the northwest side of Airport City? Many people come and learn it also. Okay, cycling tracks. That means eventually, when metro is built from metro station, okay, cycles, okay, US already got it, the folded cycles. You take out for like a briefcase, unfold it, cycle it to the place. How wonderful it is. Last mile connectivity, we set it up. But over the time, entire campus, last mile connectivity, we do it. These are some of the modeling things. You get bored and you scold me also if I show all that numbers and all. What we did, okay, long-term planning. We got short-term, mid-term, long-term. Long-term, okay, between metro and okay, buses, 75% of the traffic we wanted to come that way. Balance only car, okay. So there is a modeling. Each road we put, there is a traffic modeling behind it, okay. We don't do anything blindly. Exactly, we know which year, what type of road we need it, we know it. Okay, that's how we do the modeling. And then, okay, we partnered with Indian Institute of Human Settlement, okay. So that is actually, I need to talk a little bit of Indian Institute of Human Settlement. They are looking for a bigger cause, okay. That means change the way urban planning is done and buildings are built, okay, in this country. Board members include top leaders like Mr. Nandan Nilekani and okay, others is okay, so top people, okay. So we are working with them. We listed out various factors. Everything is like scientific way, By doing that, okay, how much actually carbon emissions can we cut down? We are modeling that, okay. We started working with them. And okay, they have got collaborations with the top universities like Stanford and all. They share research data. So the plan is IIHS will make us as a role model and showcase to rest of India how to do things. And this is another thing, okay, embodied carbon assessment. Okay, this is something we are doing it, okay, with the startup, okay. INSEAD alumni have set up this company, Acacia, okay, we partnered with them. And okay, so there are some units, okay, to measure that, okay, greenhouse gas emissions and all. The units are 65 kg carbon dioxide equivalent per square feet. This is called index, okay. That's good enough, okay. When we measure it using their model, we got it 45. We are not complacent. Live example, what we are building Combo Hotel, that is for the benefit of all, that is one of the largest hotels in the country. 450 keys Vivanta and 325 keys, okay, Ginger, okay. That 775 is one of the largest hotels in the country. We are measuring that. Then, okay, using that artificial intelligence app and all, we did some interventions. By doing that, we cut it down to 35 kg CO2 per equivalent per square foot. Okay. And then, again, stormwater management at Bangalore Airport City. Again, this is complex civil engineering, 100-year return period and all that. Okay. IDF curve, it is called intensity, duration, frequency curve. Okay. So I don't want to get into that. I try to make it as simple as that. Net. Old formulas are not working. Okay, what we have because of climate changes. We talked to British companies and all. We came up with our own factors and all, factors enhancement. Okay, this is called good engineering. Code of practice doesn't tell any of the things. We don't need to do UDG. We don't need to do the way traffic modeling. We do nothing. Okay, but it is all our intervention as responsible citizens and responsible leaders. This is what we do. And others can take us as a role model. Okay, so that one person does good job, there will be a multiplier effect. Many want to follow that. Okay, so from that we developed our own factors and we designed our systems. Okay, then approvals and financing, okay. Regulatory approval often tend to delay infrastructure projects by 10 to 12 months. 10 to 12 months, if the project is delayed, can you imagine, okay, in terms of financing, okay, big trouble, okay, IRR can go down, really can go down, viability becomes a question mark. Over 2 lakh crore rupees worth of stalled projects are there in this country because of lack of approvals. Because they didn't follow the process. When we talk about process and all, okay, some people get frustrated. There is a reason why there is a process. You follow the process, so we don't get into this. So there are some good role models within India. Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, they are doing good job. If you see that, mostly they are from South India. One is from western side of India, okay, that is Gujarat, okay. And Singapore ranked second globally World Bank ranking. So in terms of approvals, online approvals and all, there is a process for everything there. If we follow that, actually we don't get into trouble. Okay. Then Make in India, okay. The biggest lesson COVID-19 has taught us to become a self-reliant Atmanirbhar Bharat. Prime Minister Modi ji keeps talking about it. There is a reason for it, and we strictly follow that in our airport city. As much as possible, we don't depend on foreign goods. Because just imagine another COVID comes, we are in deep mess. Okay, but if it is all within India, we can manage somehow. Okay, so it is a very, very good philosophy, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay, Bharat. Okay. Then construction execution, there is $148 billion of infrastructure projects in pipeline. And this industry, infrastructure, real estate, construction, is the second largest employer, amounting to 50 million workforce. How important it is, okay, skilling them, training, retraining them, getting them into industry. But it comes with a lot of issues. You look at less than 1% productivity growth in past 2 decades. Can you believe it? And we can feel it at our sites, okay? Less than 1% productivity growth in past 2 decades. Time 44% overrun in many projects in India. Cost 18% overrun. Siloed approach. Left doesn't talk to right, right doesn't talk to front, front doesn't talk to back. Okay? That leads to many problems. Fragmented nature. Okay? So there are multiple problems in this industry, okay. So we tried to do our best, okay. We did a lot of digitalization and all. Some of our engineers, when they talked to our contractors, they said, why do you force us to get into digitalization and all? Once they tasted that, okay, they said, wow, it is amazing. And I'll show some examples. My colleague, okay, my former colleague, Bhatia Nair, was leading this one. Whatever she did, this plus some COVID care center and all, she showcased it for a prestigious fellowship in Oxford. In India, only 12 get selected. That year, 11 IAS officer, only she from this campus, okay, she got selected. Thanks to all this. She really did for the society, and she actually became an entrepreneur after that, okay. And then construction execution, time, cost, quality, and safety. Okay, there are many other things, but fundamentally these are the things, okay. Each one got a serious impact if we don't have the proper resilient systems, okay. Projects won't be viable anymore if we don't follow these things. Okay, construction execution, how we brought technology, okay, unheard of, okay, virtual reality, we brought it into construction. We brought it to LOD 350, site execution. The guy standing here, he never did it before joining Airport City. Okay, have been in the industry, Pratap, my colleague. Okay, okay, that picture, okay, he was actually modeling that. What is on drawing versus reality, virtual reality versus this one. Okay, by doing all these things, exact alignment, he is able to get it. For this work, we got several national awards actually. What we did here. And then now what we are doing is recently we teamed up with Inkers. Inkers is actually incubated by IIT Kharagpur alumni. So what we are thermal imaging, okay, we're taking cameras and all, okay, you walk it all exactly where is there is wet area and all that, we can figure it out. Defect analysis, we can do segmentation, okay. So it helps a lot in construction. We are working with them. So what is the future like, okay? Smart cities, okay. We quite often hear about smart cities. What is smart cities all about? this is my popular statement, okay, when I go to IITs and all that. IITs, and when I go there and talk about it. Smart cities is not about gadget. That means you have powerful laptop and all. That's not smart city. Smart city is all about citizens' convenience. If a common man, citizen is not happy, it is not smart city. Citizens' happiness is the utmost important. How do we get that? First is physical infrastructure. Power, water supply, solid waste management. Meaning, okay, you have tons of gadgets, but water doesn't come 24 hours. What is the use of that? All the things we need to fix it in our cities. Multimodal transport, okay, then cyber connection, housing, disaster management, institutional infrastructure, ICT-based service delivery, institutional finance, security, skill development, etc. Social infrastructure, education, healthcare, entertainment, inclusive planning, building homes, economic infrastructure, GDP contribution, job creation, livelihood activities, market growth. Simply put this way, by doing all these things, HDI, Human Development Index, Human Capital Index, we shoot it up. Unfortunately, India is not doing well. Unfortunately, okay, it is really not doing well. We have to do a lot of work, okay, in HDI and HCS space, okay. So while our GDP as a total number is doing well, when it comes to HDI, HCI, India as a country is not doing that well. We have a lot of work to do. Okay, then smart city models, okay, we got from Singapore, okay, I extracted these 5 models, what I have been doing in my life before coming here: built environment and city management, urban mobility, energy, safety and security, environment and water, okay. So from there we derived 12 smart city solutions. Each solution we are applying in this campus, okay. We got numerous national awards, okay, for doing this work. And the next thing is virtual Singapore is something, okay, my colleague George is trying to do a digital twin of entire campus, plus where there are few cities actually, entire city is a digital twin. Singapore is like that. What is the use of that? We can do parametric modeling. Parametric modeling means certain degrees temperature goes up, how much flood level will go, water level will go. If water level goes up, city will be flooded. Every parameter we can feed into digital twin, check what is the impact of it. And then, okay, what Singapore is doing it, okay, $100 billion program they have. They are putting the flood control walls now to protect the entire city, because exactly they know it. Singapore knows it. By this year, okay, city will be flooded. If city is flooded, gone. Economy gone. There's nothing to talk about it. Okay, this is a very good example. Okay, entire city is digital twin. Next thing, Singapore Green Plan. Something I really love it, okay. The one of the ambitious plan is, okay, every resident, it is not about rich person or anything. A common person, within 10 minutes you need to have a park by 2030. That's what I call it. Smart city is all about citizens' convenience. You get out, you take a bus comes on time. Metro works, power comes, water comes, okay. The city is resilient, okay. Next thing is, okay, so there are a lot of problems I talked about. There are engineering solutions. That is fortunately. This is something ETAP structural analysis, we call it, okay. We can model the entire 3-dimensional structure of it. And then, okay, we know exactly each parameter when an earthquake happens, how the movement happens. Long time back when I was designing the tallest building in Singapore, it's 280 meter tall, 66-story building, okay. Exactly I know during this condition, how much the entire building moves here now. Then the entire facade system is designed for it, okay, resilient, okay. ETAPS is invented by Habibullah, okay. He used to work in, teach in the University of California, Berkeley. So that time actually I used to speak on phone, to understand how to use the system, while working on this project. Now we have luckily generative design and all. So many things we can simulate it actually. That's the beauty of it, okay. Most of the engineering systems we can simulate. Next thing is additive manufacturing in construction. Labor is going to be a big problem, period, okay. It is, in a country like India, many people say that what are you talking, 1.4 billion population, can't you get labor? The truth is we are not getting labor, that's it, okay. I'm sitting with contractors, they say, Rao, please help me. Okay, they are getting by flights. Yesterday one contractor said our labor left, the food quality is not good. We normally hear about, some executives talk about labor said food is not good, so they left. You got to be very careful. Her job is not easy. Okay, so three-dimensional additive manufacturing in the future. That means 3D print it and build it. Already in Austin, somebody doing it. That's the future. Okay. So as the saying goes, okay, if you can't solve the problem, avoid the problem. That's it. Okay. You 3D print it and put it. Okay. So, okay. Next thing is facilities management. IBM Maximo. IBM Maximo and all, we use it, okay, it got lot of applications and all, okay. We can see predictive maintenance and all, we do it, what's the probability of failure, what are the spare parts required and all, actual resilient things we can set it up, okay, using these tools. That's it, thank you very much.
Thank you for the detailed presentation, sir. Alright, let's keep the momentum going because continuity is all about staying connected, right? And who better to talk about staying connected than someone from a company that literally powers half of our group chats, video calls, and midnight binge watching sessions. From the brand that's become a household name, let's welcome the man who brings the signal wherever we go, Mr. Praveen Khan from Geo Limited. Over to you, sir.
So, Ankita, before Mr. Khan was starting, Nalini, Mr. Rao, and myself have to go for another one.
Apologies, it's a leadership workshop we have.
If you wouldn't mind, we can have a quick group photo also, otherwise we'll miss all of you.
And I would like to, you have, you're recording it, right? We can get a copy of the video.
Yeah, we can do it. Live streaming now, it will be there. Okay, we'll have a quick photo and then
Maybe you can change the background to your BCAW.
Can we change the background?
No problem. Thanks for the
I request others to kindly settle down, please.
See, primarily I'm from telco and IT background, so some of the slides will be having a tinge of telco and IT flair to it. Bear with me for that. And I try to make it less technical as possible so that, or I'll try to convey it properly so that we can communicate better. Right. One thing is, we normally used to talk about business continuity, disaster recovery, and various resilience, various things, right? So, one part is like disaster recovery was the norm earlier. Like you plan for a disaster, as we discussed earlier. There should be a plan G, plan C. Like whenever something goes wrong, how you are going to recover from that, right? So that's a reactive mode of doing it. Like you prepare for it, and whenever a disruption hits, you try to recover from that. Definitely you should have a plan. But the first method, the best way to recover from anything is to avoid that disaster itself. That's where resilience comes into play. You make your system so resilient so that you first avoid the disruption. Even if there is a disruption, you bounce back very, very fast, so that the impact to that disruption is very less. So we'll get into some numbers. Like, see, the cost of outages as of today in the world. See, there is 90% of the institutions in the world are getting impacted due to outages. There are outages; you cannot avoid it. Right? So now the thing is, outages is not something that can happen once in a while, or it can happen in some of the companies. That was the way in which we looked into that earlier. But nowadays, that is not the case. There are multiple reasons to it. One thing is, the enterprises are now connected and technically enabled a lot. Earlier, it was more manual process where any disruption means you have a disruption in terms of facility, you have a disruption in terms of, let's say, people, disruption in terms of some flood happening or some kind of physical eventualities happening. Nowadays, the biggest thing is a small application somewhere is misbehaving. Let's say your MS Office is not working or Outlook is not working. That can impact a lot, and it might not be something that you haven't done. Like you in your office, nobody has done anything. Somewhere else, somebody has written a code which is a virus and which impacted your operations. So outages, you should be prepared for the outages and you should be able to bounce back very fast. That is what the key essence of it. So 90% of the organized enterprises are impacted as of today. In a year, like, you can have interruptions in almost every enterprise. The cost of this is $14,000 US dollars per minute. That is the cost of these disruptions. Some are big, some are small, but this is the average cost. And there is organizations which are experiencing IT outages are 55%. So out of the disruptions, 55% are IT outage due to some of the IT systems not working properly. And another fascinating thing is 34% of organizations have a very slow recovery. The recovery that we can achieve, the recovery that we need to have, that is not implemented in most of the organizations. Now, so now regarding those disruptions, let's come to the way in which, let's come to discuss about the way in which we can handle those disruptions, how we can make systems resilient. We will make sure that, we'll come to some case studies and we'll make sure that how systems are built in the enterprises, where the systems can bounce back as fast as the disruption occurs. It's not like you have a disruption, you wait for the entire thing to settle down and then recover somewhere else. So the demand is you have to start your operations, or you have to plan for recovering from that disaster immediately when the disaster hits. But there are some fascinating case studies for that as well. We'll come to that. So this is our journey today, in which we'll be first understand what is the modern day disruption looks like, and how the global and Indian resilience landscape is. And we come to some case studies how these have been handled in
certain organizations.
How AI is being used for this resilience nowadays. And we will have some walkthrough regarding how the future ready resilience enterprises looks like. All right. So, what is the disruption today? As we said earlier, disruption today is not only a physical disruption. It can be a failure in terms of your digital transformation. You have done something which is not suitable for our organization, or we haven't done our digital transformation properly. Some systems are not working perfectly for us, or there can be cyber attacks. Cyber attacks is one of the things. You hear about cyber attacks everywhere, and most of the time, the reason for hearing about cyber attacks a lot is because that's very important. It's a reality. Right? If you subscribe to any of these cyber attack or any of these mailing list where the vulnerability or the cyber attack mailing list is there, I'm pretty sure that your inbox will be flooded with mails. There'll be hundreds of recommendations every day coming from every part. Microsoft releases at least 2 to 3 notifications every day saying that you have to patch this one or the other one. And I am pretty sure that there is no organization which doesn't use MS Office or Outlook. So it's something like we have convenience. Along with that, we have some kind of a backdoor where an attack can come in at any point of time. I'm not scaring you, but that is a reality. And most of our IT teams, most of the IT teams in most of the organizations are well aware of this, and they make sure that the patches are updated properly and systems are intact. But out of 100, 1 or 2 can go beyond that. So those kind of attacks can happen. And you have to remember that there is some 600%, 6 times increase in terms of cyber attacks in the past few years. So one of the latest cyber attacks we heard a few days back is LLM-based cyber attack. So many of the people are using ChatGPT nowadays, right, or any LLM nowadays. So LLM is something like, it's very simple. Like Apple, a couple of days back, said that the LLM is not intelligent enough for human usage. The reason is we don't know whether Apple lags. Is it because Apple lags behind this race? But they published a paper which says that right now the LLM is actually fooling us in terms of being intelligent. The actual intelligence will be far beyond it, and there are scientists working on that, and we can expect more intelligent systems far beyond. So right now, most of the LLMs works in a word predictive model where it doesn't know what exactly it says, but it knows what exactly the next word to be said. So that's the way in which intelligence works right now. So what happened is a couple of weeks back, there was an LLM attack in which the LLM prediction was tweaked in such a way that it can extract some personal data from your system and give it to the learning model. So it was a wake-up call for most of the people. Mostly people were predicting this for quite some time, but this is the first time that we have faced it. So in the next few months or in next 1 year, we will be hearing a lot of restrictions in terms of using LLMs, building your own LLMs if we want to do this. When I'm saying about LLM, you think of it as ChatGPT. All right. So there are new kind of attacks that comes every day, new kind of ways in which data can be leaked from your organization to somewhere else. And it can be critical data as well. And these data leaks can be used in some other way in which it can cause more disruption. So there can be more restrictions that comes in and more attacks comes in. Like it's part of life nowadays. Like you have to be prepared. You cannot stop using technology. You have to use it. Otherwise, you will lose your competitive advantage. But at the same time, we should be very, very careful enough to make sure that we use it in the proper way. Right. Then there are disruptions in terms of supply chain shocks, as discussed earlier, and geopolitical tensions are there. You can see that nowadays geopolitical tensions and wars are lasting over a span of years. So the tensions are building up, and new kind of formation is coming up. More powerful countries are like, rather than just mere fighting, it's impacting the companies, it's impacting the organizations. And no organization is isolated within a country. Like we always have to interact with multiple countries in multiple worlds, and we don't know how these can impact most of the businesses, right? So we should be prepared for that as well. And climate change, that's a reality. And in terms of that, we should be prepared. These are the different type of disruptions that can occur. And one of the main thing is, as this disruption types and disruption frequency has increased, one of the standards is your recovery time should be shortened. So, see, from geo perspective, I'll tell you one example where some of our customers are they have SEBI as a controlling agency. So when we started a couple of years back, the recovery time that was given was 4 hours. So if something happens, you should be recovering within 4 hours. Couple of months back, we got a notification that it's not 4 hours, it's no longer 4 hours, you should be back within 45 minutes. So 4 hours to 45 minutes, it's something very big to catch up, right? But somehow what we are expecting is after some time it will further reduce, and we will be asked to have resilient systems which doesn't go down because of one issue. So that's how it is. And in fact, for some of the systems it's possible. So in Geo, what we have done is we have made all our critical IT systems distributed across different data centers. We have 3 super data centers, one in Jamnagar, one in Nagpur, and another one in Mumbai. So all the 3 data centers, because of the luxury of being a telco operator, we have a good connectivity between all this. So we have 100G lines between these data centers. So practically it works as a single data center distributed in 3 different locations. And we have all our critical systems distributed across this. So that means you have one node of one application in one location, another node in another location. So if one node goes down, it automatically switches to the other location. So end user doesn't know about the disruption at all. So unless and until you have all the 3 locations goes down, customers doesn't know about it. Now, the other challenge most of the telco faces is not the IT systems, it's in the other part where you have a fiber cut. Fiber cut is something which can happen any point of time, like you have some road works happening somewhere, and on a daily basis we get these reports like fiber cut happened here or the other places. And whenever there is multiple fiber cuts, then it's a nightmare for any telco. Because like recovery from a fiber cut is time taking. You have to send somebody physically, go over there, fix it, and restore it. Right. Anyway. So this is the global disruption statistics. We have on an average 86 outages happen for an organization on an average. And 70% of the breaches causes significant damage. And 59 ransomware, 59% of this is ransomware hit in the last year. And the average cost is 4.88 million for each breach. this is the statistics that we have. This is as per the 2025 report. So that brings us the importance of resilience. How fast we are going to recover from these kind of issues. Not only this, any kind of issues. So I said about cyber attacks, but it's not only about cyber attacks. For any kind of disruption, it is the same case. You have a very huge impact on your operations, and you have to be resilient enough to recover fast. So resilient organizations, if you have resilience as part of your strategy, resilient organizations normally come off almost 2.5 times faster compared to other systems. Like you have a very long DR plan where you recover from the disaster recovery, and if you have a resilient system, the advantage is you can recover very fast. Like your loss during a disaster will be very less, and it increases the shareholder value. Like the confidence increases, and internally as well, you will be having more confidence in terms of your system and your infrastructure. And another is definitely the competitive advantage. Whenever there is an outage in your system and your competitors recover very fast, or they don't have any outage, then it's always a comparison, like how fast you recover. And one thing is, in terms, if you see into modern companies, blue chip companies, earlier, if something happens, some disruption happens, some outage happens, companies don't publish it. They try to recover it fast and make sure that customers doesn't know about it. But nowadays, companies have another strategy. Whenever there is a downtime, they try to recover very fast. They showcase it as their improvement in terms of resiliency. If you go to, let's say, Amazon, Google, Netflix, or any of these blue chip companies, they have a blog for that. The disruption, how they recovered from that, and how their systems are good enough to recover faster. Those kind of showcasing of their resilience. That is increasing a customer confidence. That means everyone knows that you cannot avoid it, but you can recover fast. So that is the showcase nowadays. Right. Now, resilience maturity in terms of global and our Indian scenario. See, there are some global landscape where resilience is considered to be one of the most important things for those countries. So in North America, there are regulatory frameworks established which is followed for improving the resiliency of the systems. And there are mixed maturity levels in Asia Pacific. And in Europe, there are directives that is coming up nowadays which improves the resilience. Means in policy level, there are so much focus in terms of improving the resiliency. As I said earlier, like regarding SEBI, we are expecting similar from TRI, we are expecting similar from RBI. So there will be other regulatory entities which will be coming up with more and more focus in terms of recovering faster. So the main problem is 79% of the organizations are not yet ready. With the regulators are pushing them to make sure that you make your systems better. Right. Now the momentum in terms of this is one of the most interesting thing. Like in India, the momentum of digital transformation is very high compared to the global focus. So we are a growing country and we have that focus. Luckily, our governments and the entire landscape that we have, they have more focus in terms of improving the existing systems. Right? Global CAGR is 16.5%, whereas India have 74.7%. So that is a kind of focus that we have in terms of building resilient systems, building better systems for us. So this is Indian business continuity landscape. See, recently there was a government announcement that we are adding one global capability center per week. So that means 52 global capability centers in a year. So this is expected to contribute 1 to 2% of India's GDP by 2030. So this is the kind of requirement that India has as of now. And the main challenge is the talent. So with the changing scenario, we need more talented people over there, and new technology adoption, and we have whenever you have a global capability center, the main point is the entire risk is concentrated there. If it goes down, a lot of systems will get impacted. So there is a concentration of risk, so which we need to address. Government have some initiatives like Atmanirbhar Bharat, Digital India. So in all this, we have a focus in terms of improving our landscape and making sure that we are resilient internally as well. Like we don't have so much of dependency with international vendors. So those kind of focus is already there. Now we'll come to two stories, two case studies. This is, I know that this might be the most talked about in your industry. This is in March 2020. I know that there was a bloodbath in terms of airline industry at that point of time. So within 48 hours, the entire most resilient industry come to a standstill. The aviation industry stood still. It was 2.7 million people lost their jobs, and many of the airlines were having ghost flights to just to keep it running, to keep their landing slots. Now let's see how we are as of now. This is the recovery that we had. That means from 2020 to 2025, post-COVID, there was a remarkable kind of a recovery that is shown by this industry. So it always says like it's not about how deep you fall, it's all about how high you bounce, right? So that is literally true in terms of aviation industry. Like there was exactly pre-COVID level recovery happened by 2024, and now it's going into heights. Like it's really good. So the domestic travel recovered faster than the international ones, and by 2024 there was a full recovery. 103% of the 2019 levels were achieved, and 2025 growth above pre-pandemic 111% growth has been shown. So during COVID, there was an interesting implementation in Delhi airport. The challenge was, like during COVID, the biggest challenge was to make sure that there's this social distance. At the same time, airports are a location where people concentrate. A lot of people come together. So, most important place where you need to keep the business running. At the same time, you need to have this social distancing and all the COVID protocols to be maintained as well. And you cannot employ more people to manage it. So that is counterproductive, right? Again, you cannot bring in social distancing by asking more people to join and control it, right? So one solution was implemented. That was a passenger tracking system where 560 IoT sensors were implemented over the ceiling to track people, to track the distance. And real-time crowd density monitoring was implemented, and automated alerts for crowded places were given. So this was one of the implementation that was done very fast, and this was an example of how we are going to innovate in terms of unprecedented situations. And it increased the operational efficiency without adding a lot of people, a lot of manpower. It increased the efficiency of the entire operations. So it was ceiling mounted sensors across 9 terminal areas. It was implemented, and KPI dashboards, and these dashboards were real time, so that you know what is happening in the airport at any point of time. And one of the important thing is these systems were integrated to their existing IT systems. It was not an isolated system. It was integrated into their existing IT systems. Now, I'll have some kind of a self-posting as well, like how Geo handled it during the pandemic. Right? So, in Geo, the challenge was something different. Like, we had 400 plus million customers before start of COVID. Right? So the biggest challenge was the usage increased dramatically. That means we were having 5 exabytes of data consumed every month during COVID period. Like, people were connected through digital forms during COVID. Like, there was time. Yeah, all the schools were depending on that. Many of the offices were depending on Teams calls and all. So, virtual meeting became a norm. Like, earlier, we used to go to places, meet people, and the entire scenario changed. Then people had a lot of time, so people started watching videos, streaming. All this consumed a lot of data. So what we had, the challenge in the back end was we have 300% increase in terms of data usage during the COVID period. And telco had a challenge that we can't bring in people at office to improve our infrastructure. We have to make sure that we don't cause any outage. And an outage during pandemic period causes other kind of message to the entire ecosystem. So we had to make sure that we use our existing infrastructure itself and serve all the customer requirements. At that time, the advantage of our data centers came. We replanned in terms of our entire ecosystem, how it is distributed, many of the things we were able to do it remotely, like moving systems from. One of the main systems that we have done is we have moved all our billing systems to the nearby locations. That means we had we got aggregator centers. That means there are some 24 small data centers across the country that we have. So we moved most critical systems into those locations. So it gives faster response to individual users, individual customers. So whenever you are connecting from Bangalore, you don't have to connect to Mumbai data center to get the data. So Bangalore itself will work for that. So those kind of intelligent system rearrangement has been done, and we were able to manage the entire COVID period without any disruption. And during that time, we introduced some new systems as well. Like we had, I remember like one system that we implemented within a week was there was a COVID survey for our entire employees and the partners that we implemented. It was implemented in a week, and every day we had around 10 million requests coming into that. I mean, it includes all the employees, their families, all the partners, the vendors, partners and all, their families. So we wanted to make sure that any COVID cases that is being, or symptoms of COVID, that is detected very fast and we can recover from that. So, and every day we did this survey. So daily it was 10 million requests that coming into the system, but we were able to establish it in a week and implement it across our organization and partners. So what made us do this is, one thing, our focus was technology first at that point of time, whenever we established Geo itself. So In fact, I joined Jio whenever Reliance got the license, long back. So when I joined, it was a 30-member team. We didn't have even the name of Jio at that point. We didn't finalize the name Jio. Internally, we called it as Project Vijay. Now, many of the people in Jio itself doesn't know about that earlier name. So at that time onwards, we got a direction from the chairman that you don't worry about anything else. You don't worry about the project cost. You don't worry about anything. It's not going to be a telco. It's going to be a digital company. Like we are here to serve data for the entire nation. We were given a target of 10 million users on day one. We said that you make a system for serving 10 million users. So 10 million was a very huge number at that point of time. Like I was part of IBM at that point of time, and we were thinking like day one 10 million. Why are you wasting so much money? Like why should you do that? And we have given some timeline. By December, you have to make it happen. By December, by October, we had all the testing done. Everything was ready for 10 million. And all of a sudden, chairman said that no, we are not going to launch. Do one thing. Let's make it 100 million. And it was like we didn't have even a single customer at that point of time. And said that you re-architecture everything for 100 million. And the story continued 3 times. And eventually we launched with capability of 500 million. And the thing is, nobody, even employees, when we were in those teams, and we also didn't expected that we'll be able to achieve these 400 million customers in 1.5 years. So there were other business strategies that were done, but the point is, the kind of vision at that point of time was, you make sure that your infrastructure is not a blocker for you. You keep it in a larger vision, make it implement, and then bringing in business is something else. Somebody will take care of it. You focus on what you can do. So that digital first vision actually helped us during the pandemic. We were able to serve the spurge of requirement, and without any fail, we were able to serve the entire barrier. So now, for the last couple of years, the entire landscape is changing in terms of most of the systems are now trying to implement some kind of making use of AI primarily. Like you have so much intelligent systems out there, why don't you use it? So one example that we implemented last year was we have 14 payment gateways in terms of recharges. Like whenever you go to MyJio app or anywhere, you do a recharge. And whenever it's a payment page, you'll be having different options, like you pay through Google Pay. Exactly. So there are 14 different payment gateways that we have. And what happens is these payment gateways have their own outages. And the biggest problem is if a payment gateway is failing or not, that can be identified only after completing the payment, or whenever you are trying it. So what we have analyzed is about 60% of the customers, if the payment fails, they don't retry. It was like most of these recharges are immediate, like you are watching a video or you are watching a match and you want to recharge your data plan immediately. And you try to recharge, it didn't happen, you said that okay, leave it. I'm not sure whether my money got deducted or not, so I'll wait for some time. By that time my requirement has done. And it was causing a revenue loss for us in the other perspective. So for Jio it's a revenue loss. So we wanted a system where we have to identify whether a payment gateway will fail or not. So now the challenge was how we are going to identify it. It was like the only way of payment gateway failure is actually doing the payment, right? So what we did was we collected the data for past 1 year. We did some predictive analysis on that, and we identified some kind of a pattern, ML pattern, machine learned pattern, and we have a system implemented where it will predict whether this payment gateway might fail or not at this point of time. So what we did for that is we had that system up and running live right now in MyGeo. In the back end, what we does is, if there is a prediction, there is an 80% chance that this payment gateway might go down. At that point, we exclude that payment gateway from the page. Like, customer won't see that payment gateway, so they'll choose some other payment gateway and complete it. So the advantage is 90% of the failures reduced. Like success of payment getting completed or recharge getting completed was increased. Making this kind of predictive models is not a big thing as of now. When we did, it was kind of big thing for us. We were like, predictive models are at that point of time just getting implemented. But now, it's very easy to do this. If you have data of your past transactions, past activities, it's very easy. And it can be implemented so many ways. Like, you can predict your disruptions. You can say that after this particular change, there is a very high chance of failure. Or if these two changes come together, there is a high chance of failure. Or some interesting patterns can come up, like during this time. Probably by 11 o'clock, you don't do any change. Like maybe people will be sleepy, whatever. So those kind of patterns will come up whenever you are analyzing your data. So one important thing is, AI is being used in predictive modeling a lot by a lot of different organizations. And one thing is, you have a proactive reliability on that. So before even any disruption, any failure occurs, you can predict that, okay, this is going to happen. And another most important thing is defect detection. And AI is being used for defect detection in various areas. And you can have operational intelligence added using AI, and security enhancements for threat detection, any kind of incident response can be done. And many of the systems right now have the basic incident response is done by AI nowadays. Like your first line responding to the incidents is done by AI. Like it knows the pattern, it knows how to respond to this particular incident and how to predict it, how to respond to that. And in terms of business intelligence, like risk modeling and all, the past data analytics, initially it was analytics. You just analyze your past data and show it. Right now, from the past data, AI itself will suggest these are the three options that you can do. It's all about just taking one of the path. Or maybe once you are confident enough with your system, then you can ask the system to take the decision by themselves. So AI implementation, in aviation, predictive maintenance is being done, and in telco network optimization, we have intelligent routing, which improves the performance of the network. So right now, earlier what we had was a fixed route. Like if let's say you have to download something from which is in Mumbai or somewhere else. From Bangalore. So you have a fixed path, like you go to this location from here to this location. So there's a routing that happens, right? So nowadays it's mostly intelligent routing. Like it checks what exactly the routes which is being used a lot, which is going to be the fastest route. So based on which intelligent routing has been, it is in place. Like there are systems which provides intelligent routing to improve the performance. In manufacturing, financial services, and most of the businesses are now trying out different ways in which AI can be used to improve. And in a traditional system, most of the recovery happens in a reactive way. Like you have the disruption occurs, and then you have a recovery plan in place. Nothing bad in that. You should have that in place. But at the same time, in a technology-driven approach, there is a proactive way. Like you can have a prediction about what is going to happen, whether the disruption is going to happen, take a proactive action. So most of the time you can avoid the disruption, or by the time the disruption occurs, you will be well equipped to recover immediately. And it is a manual process in the traditional way. Like you have an SOP, you have 100 different steps to do, and 50 different people to do it, and we do it. In technology, many of things can be automated. Wherever automation is possible, you can automate it. And automation have a couple of advantages, as everyone knows. Like it's faster. Second thing is you will have this human mistake, like you accidentally did something else. You didn't want to do that, but you accidentally did something else. So those kind of human mistakes can be avoided. And over a period of time, you can optimize more. Repetitive things, boring things that can be automated. And earlier it was siloed approach where different departments, different systems work in a silo. They say that, okay, this is what I have done, and I am not sure about what exactly others should do. Let them do it on their own. But now most of the systems are integrated. Like they talk to each other. We have systems. We expect those systems to perform in certain way and communicate to the other system, and that system works based on the inputs from the previous one. So there is a proper way in which systems are being integrated, and this improves a lot of silos, a lot of performance, and a lot of mistakes can be avoided, and the silos can be avoided. And rather than a historical analysis of past 1 year data or past 10 year data and then take a decision, you can have more real-time data available in terms of the modern technology. You can collect the data real-time, you can show it real-time, you can analyze real-time what exactly can be taken, done now. So current challenges, there are some challenges in terms of this. Cyber threats have been increasing, so be aware of that. And skill gaps, legacy systems are there, and definitely regulatory compliance is becoming more stringent. So we have to be ahead of our time. We have to make sure that before the regulator comes to us and say that, okay, you cannot operate now without this, we should be prepared enough. By the way, like 2 years back, HDFC Bank, India's second largest bank, was restricted by RBI for a couple of months for adding new customers. Because like during a disaster recovery, they were not able to recover. So RBI strictly told them, you make sure that your DR is done, you recover it, test it, and then inform us. Only after that you can add more customers. So regulators are very strict. No matter how big the enterprises are, they want to make sure that the end users are not impacted, they are served properly. So we should expect more and more regulatory restrictions that comes in future in favor of the customer. So we should be always aware of that, and we should be prepared for that. So now let's see how a resilient system can be implemented. So there are 5 pillars of resilient systems. See, for any change or any kind of new thing that need to be implemented in an organization, leadership and culture need to be focused. Like the leaders need to come together and say that, okay, this is the priority of the organization. This is something where organization should focus. So the leadership, and there should be a good technology foundation where technology can be leveraged. See, you can do most of the things without technology as well, but technology gives you an advantage. So that technology foundation always helps in terms of experimenting different things and making it better. And there should be a proper process integration. You should have the process already in place. And see, none of these AI systems can bring in new process. The process need to be defined within. And the AI or any technology systems, these are systems which follows what we say. But we have to say it. Right? Talent, we need to make sure that good talent is developed internally and good talent acquisition is done. and industry partnerships need to be done. Wherever we lack skills, we need to make sure that we reach out to the right companies or right industry partners and make sure that we leverage their skill sets as well. See, there are some best practices globally available in Singapore, Japan, Netherlands, and even India also leads with some very good industry best practices. These best practices are now world renowned, and more companies are now adopting it. Like if you say India's Aadhaar implementation and UPI implementation is considered to be world's best, and many of the countries are even. I think Singapore is trying to adopt our UPI systems. Like, if you have anybody coming into India, the most surprising thing for them is the UPI, the way in which UPI is being used in India. And the systems are so resilient that like we hardly have any kind of disruption. And see the kind of usage that we have. Every second there are millions of transactions that's happening, and systems are very stable in terms of that. So we have good global standards, Indian standards. So we need to learn from that and make sure that we use those standards to our advantage. Right? So the future of emerging technologies are see AEML, which is already there. You can have artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities implemented for prediction or segregation. And IoT, you should have an idea regarding IoT, because like see in modern world, IoT can bring in the data, real-time data from very different places. Practically, it's not possible for collecting this data manually and analyze it real time. So IoT systems combined with AEML can give you extremely good output. Like you collect the data using your IoT systems in real time, and your AEML can actually analyze those data and give you an insight regarding, okay, this is what is happening right now. And for enabling these IoT systems and AEML in real time, we have good connectivity as of now. 5G is almost there in all over India now. 6G, most of the telcos are now preparing for the 6G. So within no time, there will be faster internet than this, faster connectivity than this. And most of these softwares will be cloud native. You actually, 10 years back, when you go to any of these world-class software vendors, they will say that we need a server in the data center, a physical server in the data center where we can ensure that the performance is there. And they proudly say that. Means we test it, we certify that the performance is good in a data center. And cloud is considered to be like only for e-com kind of a thing where you don't need that kind of a performance. You can have some website there, you can have some information data there, but not for critical systems. 2 months back, last month, we launched a JV called Geo BlackRock. So the BlackRock investment company, like world famous investment company, for them we have there's a JV between Geo and BlackRock, for which we have launched Geo BlackRock last month. It's 100% cloud native. The entire thing is in Geo Azure, means Azure cloud. So there is not even a single system which is in data center, direct data center. It's completely in cloud. So in a mutual fund kind of an industry where you need to have a real-time, means they need to have a real-time integration with different systems. They are cloud native. All the systems are cloud native, right? So cloud is so powerful nowadays and so resilient, so that most of the companies, most of the softwares are now going for cloud native. And for enhanced security, quantum computing, that is something that is going to be there in the future. So this is something that we have to keep our eyes open. This technology will be there in your day-to-day life in next 5 years. So this is something that we can, it's a very high-level thing, like where we can follow for implementation if we are going to have more resilient system. So within next 6 months, we can, if we haven't already done, we can have a resilient assessment how the systems are resilient within the system, within our enterprise. And you can have a pilot AI-driven monitoring and find out where we are standing as of now. And in a medium term, implement the integration of the platforms and try to develop some partnerships. Like wherever we are lacking, we can identify the different partners where we can use their skill sets to improve. Workforce need to be upskilled. See, 2 days back, I got a mail from, I got a mailer in which Cloud AI is one of the LLM systems that is there, which is mostly used for these developers for coding, automated coding. Right? So the company called Anthropic is developing that. The Anthropic CEO said that within next 1 year, 30% of the white-collar jobs are going to be lost. And in the afternoon, I got a mail from all the employees. Got a mail. It was a regular mailer, but it was a session on U-turn in your career. So at any point of time, we need to be upskilled. In the future, it's going to be in a different way altogether. So make sure that we have some kind of an upskill within our organization so that people can be useful. Then in a long term, we need to, for a better resilient system, we can have more autonomous resilience capabilities for different systems, and good industry collaborations need to be done so that we can have a better resilient systems available. All right. We'll close this session with one example of one of the attacks that happened last month. Cloudflare is one of the companies which provides DNS services for different other companies. Right? So they had an attack on May 2025 where a 7.3 terabytes per second load was bombarded into their system. That means 37.4 TB data has been pushed into their system in 45 seconds. Right. So this kind of attacks is called DOS attack. It's denial of service attack. Normally what happens is whenever you have a lot of requests to a system, the system will be having their own inbuilt capability of restricting that, considering that it's a spam or somebody is trying to attack us. So system automatically blocks it. So this is, and the attackers know it. So attackers, what they do is, they do something called DDoS, distributed denial of service. That means they spoof the IPs from different countries, different networks, and try to attack in parallel. So what happens is, systems will be having their own airbags. They try to block each of these IPs. And eventually, what happens is, rather than you blocking them, you are being blocked from the entire world. You block all the networks. And eventually, your service is not available for anyone. So this is a typical attack, DDoS attack. But this is one of the largest happened till date. That means, if you say about comparison of this data, it's 9,350 HD movies worth of data, or 12.5 million photos. That means click on a photo, it will take 57 years for you to complete that viewing of all the photos. So that kind of data has been. Now let's see how Cloudflare tries to mitigate this. So this is the details of the attack. There were 122K source IP addresses. These were the total number of different sources from which the attack came. And the attack was coming from 161 different countries, different locations. So now we normally call it as a multi-vector DOS attack. Multi-vector means different type of request. There are UDP flood. UDP flood means data streaming. Whenever you are asking for some kind of, let's say, video streaming from YouTube or something, that kind of a request is called a UDP request. And TCP request is, let's say, you are asking for a mail or something else. So 99.996% was UDP request, and others were different type of TCP IP request. So the problem is, if it's only UDP flood, you can just block UDP and you can save yourself. But it was multi-vector. That means eventually they wanted to make sure that you are isolated and all your services are down. Now what Cloudflare did was, that is interesting, like what they did. They used the DDoS attack against them who attacked. So what they did was, they had a early detection system whenever the attack comes in, and they have a system where you send the request to the corresponding region itself. Cloudflare have their smaller systems in every country. So if a lot of requests comes to your main data center, they will make sure that these requests are sent back to those countries. So that means, let's say from China, your system in US is being attacked. So you will direct that system to your Chinese data center, so that the request will never come. Next request onwards will not come to your main data center at all. So that means you distribute your load across different countries. So you are actually using the similar strategy as a distributed DOS attack. You are distributing your load itself, so that the attacker won't be able to attack only one location. Now their attack is distributed across the world. That was one thing that they have done. Then they have an autonomous detection and mitigation mechanism as well. So it was not a person who was sitting there and identifying it and trying to distribute it. There was an automated system which identified it and immediately redistribute the load. And there was a real-time fingerprinting. Real-time fingerprinting is like to find out whether this is an attack or a genuine request. Whenever a request comes in, they identify in real time whether the request itself is coming from a credible source or not. So that's a real-time fingerprinting was done. So it identified whether it was an attack or a real request. The last one is gossiping. Gossiping is a mechanism in which IT systems, whenever the attack comes in, what happens is you will say that this kind of an attack is coming from this kind of IP address to all others. So it's called gossiping. So what happens is all the networks knows that, okay, these kind of IP address is going to be an attack. Advantage of gossiping is, let's say I am here in Bangalore, and if somebody from China tries to contact me, he'll be first contacting an ISP, means service provider in China, then a service provider, let's say, coming to India, a service provider somewhere, let's say in Delhi. From there it comes to Mumbai. From there it comes to Bangalore. Now I gossip to Mumbai saying that, see, this IP address is dangerous, and the Mumbai data center will gossip to Delhi data center. So as soon as the request comes to Delhi, then and there itself it will get blocked. So the defense is not done by you. Defense is done by the entire system, the entire network. So that's why gossiping is actually a very powerful method in which you can attack. You are not alone in terms of an attack. So this is how Cloudflare actually resisted this, and this is one of the examples where they never went down. So the thing is, rather than getting into a disaster, they were so resilient that they've acted faster than the disaster. So that's how the idea of resiliency, where you act faster so that the disaster won't be able to catch you. So this is the key takeaway. This is what we have discussed till now. So this is it regarding the resilience part of it. And I know that it was mostly focused on IT and IT systems and AML and all. Some of the systems might be too high, but see, some of these points are going to come into your daily life going forward.
Thank you for your insightful words. I request you to please stay back. I now request Mr. Manish and Mr. Firoz from WFS to give away the token of appreciation to Mr. Praveen Khan. I welcome all three of you on the stage, please.
Very insightful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I must say, it is indeed relevant for us also. Like you mentioned about the future of resilience from 25 to 2030, that part had physics. Quantum, definitely we are not doing anything here, no doubts about it. But AIML and IoT, not quite 6G, but with internet connectivity. Like this building is wired with IoT sensors which trigger alerts to automatically increasingly senior levels and all that. So it's good. A lot of the technology is how, like you suggested a framework that technology enabled resilience is what we are trying to do in our own small. Thank you. Very insightful for us. Thank you. Thank you.
So we would request you to stay back, sir. We have a token of appreciation from for sir as well.
I mean, why
To
should
the
we
mandate,
get it?
to the
Sir,
mandate.
you are our host for the day, sir. This is for Mr. Agnihotri.
Thank you. I think knowledge itself is a good thing more than anything else, but thank you. Thank you.
And for Mr. Firoz.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to the
Thank you,
entire
sir.
BCAW.
Thank you. Thank you. As many of you know, we had the official unveiling of the QRT jackets on the opening day of Business Continuity Awareness, which was yesterday. Today, we take the next step. It's time to start distributing the jackets to the QRT members. These jackets are a symbol of your commitment of being prepared, responsive, and resilient. Let's begin the distribution. I request Mr. Manish and the WFS team to please distribute the jackets. So in the first core, BCM core member, we have Mr. Sudhir Kumar. Mr. Sudhir Kumar. Up next we have Mr. Tikaram. Okay. Up next we have Mr. Raghu TS. Up next we have Mr. Arivalgan. Yeah. We can just give jackets and later we'll distribute. Just do the jacket. Please keep the applause coming. Up next we have Mr. Rajesh Tatlan. Up next we have Mr. Raghuvi Reddy. Up next we have Mr. Orichandran. Up next we have Mr. Nitin Sawant.
Thank you. Thank you.
And next we have Mr. Jinesh.
Come, you can hand over. Thank you. Mr.
And up next we have Mr. Anand. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks to the BIAL team, thanks to the MC, and thanks for everybody for taking us through this session. I'm sure all of us are now wiser, and in particular thanks to Mr. Khan for sharing a lot of knowledge that's not easily available probably in the open public. Thank you. Thank you.
As we officially begin BCAW 2025, remember, resilience isn't just a policy, it's a mindset. It's the quiet hero behind the smooth boarding call, the stable network, and the calm response during chaos. So get ready for a week of awareness activities, a little bit of friendly competition, and a whole lot of continuity. Because here at KIIT, we don't just recover, we prepare, we protect, and we perform, even when the unexpected arrives uninvited. As we move towards the close of this segment, it's now my privilege to invite Ms. Srimati to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you everyone. Thank you for taking out the time and joining this event and making it as successful and insightful. I'm here on behalf of the ERCR team to thank each and every one of us for taking out the time and be part of the event. Firstly, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Mr. Manish and Mr. Firoz for gracefully accepting the invite and allowing us to use this venue for the event. A big thank you to our esteemed speaker of the day. Your inspiring story, your expertise, and the practical insights that you shared with all of us had not only enriched our understanding but have also reaffirmed the importance of preparedness, resilience, and adaptability in today's ever-changing business environment. And like it is said, a good plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. So here is the importance of having a resilient organizational DNA in each one of the organizations that we work for. Our sincere gratitude to Dr. Devasia and the entire ERCR team having an impactful leadership and ensuring BCM is part of the organizational DNA for us. And also lastly, a big thank you to the BCM core team members. Many of them are present here. And also to the BCM event task force. Without their help, we could not have had this seamless event. So thank you everyone for making this event a great success. We definitely have more to come over the next 3 days. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please, I request you all to please settle down just for 2 minutes. So I request you all to head over to the BCM story wall, a signature wall. I request all of you to please sign there. This isn't just a photo though, feel free to strike a pose. It's a space where your signature becomes part of KIIT's journey towards resilience. Whether you are signing as a planner, a doer, or just someone who has survived a mock drill in a pouring rain, we want to see you all up here. And soon after this, we have a photo session. We will just take it down below. And before that, I just missed out a name. I request Mr. Bhaskar Reddy. And I request Mr. Rajesh to please hand over.
We forgot his name.
I'm so sorry, I just missed out his name. I request you all to please sign and gather down for the picture.
Sign the wall and then go down.
Yeah, please sign. not be somebody else. Yeah. No, it's not about me, but I am not her. I'm me. I said. I did. No. I will just about.
When it comes to my decision, then I will say, I can't sign right now.
Yeah, why don't we have it here? No, this is good. ಯಾವ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳಿ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ we better take the picture here.
Which is background?
I think this should be enough. There are less number of people. Yeah. Let's take it here. Let's try.